guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm doing a VR actually to Amethyst Ascension, and oh hey Wally, Wally's come to join us, and it's her hashtag 11 paranormal questions. So I know we've just come out of October, but talking about the paranormal is any time for me. I have my tea here, and actually you might see my setup is a little bit different. That's because I am at the desk today. So I got a brand new computer because my new computer that I bought back in 2008, brand new, has become a dinosaur. It's become very slow, and it's become very hard to do the things that I like to do, which is like editing my videos and my photos for my photography business. So it was time to get a new one. That one's retired. I'm not giving it up. It's gonna be for simple things now. But anyway, I thought I would, while I have Amethyst Ascension's YouTube channel up, I could look at the 11 questions here and then answer them for you guys. So her first question of hashtag 11 paranormal questions is, do I believe in aliens? I would think that it would be odd not to believe that there's life other than us, out there in the universe. The universe is massive. We're literally like a little speck of sand in this vast universe, and to think that we are the only life is, to me, would be egotistical. To think like the whole universe is because of us. So of course, yes, I believe that there are aliens. I believe that there are other life forms out there. Are they like, how we envisioned them in the 50s or even now? Who knows? I mean, who knows? But, I definitely believe that there is life other than us. Like, what? The universe isn't there just for us? Like, yeah, I believe that there is other life out there. Question number 2 asks, do I recall a past life? I recall a few, actually, but there's one that comes to mind more because it had such a huge impact on me, and it was when I was about 16 years old. No, 17. I was like 16 or 17 years old, probably doesn't matter. But I had this reoccurring dream, and at some point I was able to see the dream in its entirety, whereas before it would be, I would get up to a certain point in the dream and then I wouldn't be able to get past it, and at some point I got to see it in its entirety. And so how the dream began is actually I used to watch a lot of X-Files, and so in my dream Mulder and Scully were there. This kind of tells you how old I am. And we got in this like time machine, and they took me back to World War II, and once they dropped me off, they kind of like disappeared, and all of a sudden I was like in this life. And so I kind of looked down at myself and noticed that I was wearing I was female, but I was wearing kind of like a greenish uniform, where it was like a uniform skirt with a uniform jacket, and I was carrying all this wood for the campfires that the soldiers were, had with all their tents and everything, and there were planes that were flying overhead. I'm not too sure on the country that I was in. It could have been Italy, and it could have been Germany. I'm like kind of in between both of them, either Italy or Germany. And I remember I was carrying these logs, and I guess at some point I had sat them down, and my husband was in the military, and so I happened to be kind of where his company was, and so I remember looking up at him, and he was super tall, and the sun was kind of blocking out his face, so I couldn't really see his face, but I knew that was him, and I was talking to him, and I was telling him that I had a really bad feeling about that day, and he was a captain of a flight squadron, and I asked him not to fly that day, and he said that superior's orders are superior's orders, that basically when you're told to do something, you go and you do it, and it's not like you can say I don't feel like flying today because my wife has a bad feeling. And I was like, I just really feel like you shouldn't fly today. I just had this like rotten feeling in my stomach. And then the dream cuts to me being in my house, and it's kind of like like early 40s, late 30s type home. And I remember there's this car pulling up. So this is sometime later, but there's this car that pulls up, and it has a superior officer getting out with kind of like a military police personnel and one other military person. And already I know what that means, that my husband is either killed in action or missing. So I break down in tears before they even make it to the door. And once they make it to the door, I like crumble and I collapse, and I can barely hear the words that basically my husband's entire squadron was killed, you know. So he was killed and his squadron was taken down. I'm like bawling my eyes out, and it feels like my heart is tearing in two, and like I can't, like it feels so hollow and empty, like I can't imagine a worse pain. And when I woke up, I was still in tears, and I cried for a good solid hour probably after this dream. And I remember running to my grandfather's you know, encyclopedias, and I was trying to find this person's name. I actually still have the name of his like his name. I have his company's name. I have you know, like what his rank was, and I wrote that all down. And actually I haven't gone back and looked at it, but I know it's somewhere. It's in one of my diaries. It has to be. It's in one of my diaries somewhere, because I remember writing it down. But my diaries are all under the house. And actually it might be kind of cool to, now that we have Google, because we didn't have Google when I had this dream. But yeah, it might be kind of cool to Google and see if we can find this person. So yeah. All right. Question number 3. Do I believe in mermaids? I do. I do actually. You know, do they actually look like Ariel, the Little Mermaid? Probably not. But I do believe there is a version of mermaid that lives in the ocean. I mean, the ocean is like our you know, solar system. Actually, it's deep, it's vast. There are species of fish and large, you know, marine mammals that we find, you know, almost every day that are brand new, you know, so we haven't really discovered the depths of our ocean yet. So who knows? I say who knows. But for me, I believe in mermaid energy. I work with mermaid energy, so yes. Question 4, do I believe in Bigfoot? Hold on, let me get my, okay, well, whatever, the light died on my phone, who cares? Do I believe in Bigfoot? Like I said, stranger things. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and I think that there are a lot of unexplained phenomena out there. I believe that we can't possibly know every nook and cranny on this earth, or, you know, on land, as well as every nook and cranny of the deepest parts of our oceans. We don't even have our solar system, you know, figured out everything that's, you know, there. We're kind of, we even booted out Pluto as being one of our planets, and I grew up having Pluto as a planet, and I don't want to boot it out. I feel like that's so mean. So yeah, that, you know, science is always figuring stuff out. So again, I'm open to the belief that there would be a Bigfoot type creature. Number 5, do I believe in ghosts? Yes. I mean, I work with spirit. I mean, in physics, you know, they have to be able to, and they haven't been able to explain what happens to the energy inside of our bodies once we pass away. You know, science has said that, you know, basically there is something that I guess you could call a soul, that there is this energy within us, and it's what animates the body. But they're not quite sure where that energy goes, because energy cannot be destroyed. It can be multiplied. It can be moved into different states, you know, kind of like water into a vapor or a solid or, you know, liquid, whatever it may be. the same is with our spirit. So yes, of course, 100%. I know. I would say I know. I know there's ghosts. Number 6, do I believe in vampires? That one's also very interesting. Sanguinarians, people that feed upon the life force of others. Is it, a blood source? Well, we know that there's animals that are technically vampires. You got your mosquitoes, you have your vampire bats, and you have your whatnot that, use blood for, actually mosquitoes, it's the female mosquito that attacks you for the blood she uses the blood for her young. That's probably way more information you need to know. So I believe there's different variations of vampires. Sometimes people talk about energy vampires. But as far as the Bela Lugosi, vampire out there sleeping in his coffin or sleeping upside down as it may be, and going out and, biting into people's necks and sucking their blood. I mean, who knows? I mean, basically, I've learned, through a lot of the different science channels and things I like to read because I love science, that there are about every day there is, I don't know how many thousands of genetic mutations, and not mutations like we look funny or anything like that, but mutations within our system, because Mother Nature is always trying to figure out what's going to keep the human race continuing on. And so I don't know, that could be one of our mutations. And to me, I think X-Men. So I think on a daily basis we're making new X-Men, and that's true that. Okay, next we have you ever astral traveled that you remember? Yes, I haven't as of late, probably because my mind has been preoccupied and I haven't been able to have that deep sleep where I actually feel myself leaving the room. The last good astral travel I remember was when the dude and I lived in the apartment with our old cat, Presley, and we're taking a nap. It was in the middle of the day. We were taking a nap on the sack, and I literally felt like my arms and my hands were floating up in the air. I could feel them, and it's I was stuck in the torso, I was trying to come out of my body. And then at some point I lifted up, and I remember looking down on us. And then I started to float out through the roof and everything. And then my boyfriend moved me around, and so it brought me back to my body, and I was like, whoa. And I opened my eyes and I was like, I want to go back. And I was like, but yeah, I've astral traveled before, for sure. Actually, I used to do it a lot when I was a teenager and a kid. Number 8, have you ever had sleep paralysis? Yes, but I haven't had it in a number of years. Actually, the only time I used to have sleep paralysis was when I lived in my old house growing up. So up until I was about 18 years of age. And that was pretty scary. It took all I had to move my arm and move my head and to call out, and sometimes when I would open my eyes, I would see all kinds of trippy stuff. To think about it kind of trips me out a little bit. Number 9, do I have any of the 8 psychic clairs? Although there might be more. Yes, I am clairaudient, I am clairvoyant, I'm claircognizant, I am clairsentient, I am clairtangent, I feel things and I can get stuff. I think I only have that smell clair. Was that clairsalence or whatever? The clara smelling. When it comes to my relatives, although maybe, I don't know, that's probably not my strongest clair, but every once in a while I do smell stuff. But yeah, I think that's most of them. Yes, that I have. I would say the clairvoyance and the clairaudience are probably my strongest, followed by clairsentience, claircognizance, then clairtangence, and then clairsmell. Okay, number 10. Have I ever had a paranormal experience? If you want a good story, check out my spooky stories that I was doing for the month of October. I've been sharing a few of them, and people have decided that they want me to share more of them. I've had a lot. My whole life is one big paranormal experience. I would say, let's see, what's the last one I had? Here you go. Before, this was like maybe a week and a half before Halloween. We have these LED candles that are around our house, and there's a whole story behind those LED candles, by the way, too. But while the dude and I were having dinner, I happened to look over on the mantle. One of the battery operated LED candles, which has no timer, you have to physically turn on the switch to turn it on. It had turned itself on, and it was flickering behind the picture of my dude's mother, who passed away about 4 years ago now. And that was the same candle that turned on the day that she passed away 4 years ago. And the candle was turned on a couple of times in the month of October, maybe a few times, that same candle, even after I changed out the batteries and all of that. And I truly believe that that was my boyfriend's mom, Joanne, coming by to say hello. So while we were eating, I was like, hey, Joanne. My dude was like, hey, Mom. So I would say that's the last paranormal experience. It wasn't creepy at all. I was like pretty comforted that she came by. And the last question, final question, question 11. Have you ever been abducted or contacted by aliens? In meditations, I've had some brief like alien energy contact, but I don't know. I don't, and I do feel that like my soul itself, although that I've had many incarnations here on earth, I kind of feel such a connection to Orion, like the constellation Orion. Like ever since I was a kid, I would always say that I was from Orion, and I loved like Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I loved like, you know, all of like the space programs and anything in space. And when I was little, I thought like being an astronaut would be really cool. I always wanted to be up there. I wanted to be in space. I wanted to be out in the universe, because I felt like that's where home was. But other than that feeling and that connection, and maybe a couple of visitations and meditation, I haven't really delved too much into alien contact, alien energy. Although I think that would be an area that might be quite interesting. So anyway, thank you, Amethyst Ascension, for creating this tag, hashtag 11 paranormal questions. So this was, let me see, when was this created? Yeah, I was like, I know this wasn't like recent. So yes, August 24th is when she aired these 11 questions, but it being kind of the time of year it is, I thought, hey, it'd be fun to do this VR. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you haven't already, I mean, a ton of people have already done this tag, but if you haven't already, I think that would be kind of cool. If you did it, I would love to watch it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you did make one, and I'll totally go watch yours if I haven't watched it already. And I don't comment on everybody's video. I try to comment here and there, but I always give everybody a thumbs up. So hey, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding, ding, ding notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, which I have a plethora of readings, all different types, head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com, where you can also purchase my Wally's World Oracle, which was community created and community funded by all you beautiful people out there. And it's full of so many different wonderful healing, different types of energy. And I have free shipping in the United States. Definitely go check it out. And if you want to throw a little love my way, think about joining that KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot. I can do a lot of the things that I do for my channel because of the people that support me over on Patreon. And you can do that for as little as $1 a month, and you still get like free stuff from me. So anyway, definitely go check it out. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.